I know a lot of you like traveling and meeting people from different places. So today I'm with Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome back to Smile English Stories Unplugged, where you can listen to conversations in different accents with native and fluent English speakers. If we do chat too quickly or too slowly, you can change the speed in YouTube. So Jennifer, where are you from? Because you have a very strange accent. It's not like mine.
Well, no, it's not like yours, Rachel. I am from the United States, the state of Connecticut, which is in New England. And New England is in the northeast of the United States. Connecticut is the third smallest state in the United States.
Okay, look, I have a map here I often use. Okay, are you over here?
Yes, exactly. Just a little bit north, next to that teeny tiny state of Rhode Island. And just to the west of that is Connecticut.
When I was, a long time ago, when I was at 20, I went to America with my sister. We traveled on the Greyhound buses, which I think probably still exist in America. I didn't go to where you live, but I didn't go too far away. We went to New York and we went to Boston.
Where I live now is about 45 minutes from New York City.
Okay, that's 45 minutes driving, yeah? 45 minutes
yes.
drive. Yeah,
yes.
Okay. I bet it's busy going to New York in a car, no?
The traffic here is a nightmare. It's very busy. Not now so much because of the pandemic, but in normal times, the traffic is very heavy with people driving to the city.
I was wondering what the weather's like in that part of America, because in America, in fact, the US is such a big country. And I know, well, here at the moment in France, it's raining today, but it has been sunny. It was sunny at the weekend. But what's the weather like over there?
Well, it's spring in New England, and you can tell that because there are a lot of flowers and the leaves of the trees are emerging, coming out, but
yes.
It's pretty cold right now. I don't know why. Normally it's a little bit warmer, and it's rainy and gray and a little depressing. So we're hoping for some better weather and sunnier weather coming up.
What sort of temperature do you get in the spring?
Here in the United States, we use Fahrenheit.
My parents in England talk in Fahrenheit, and I never understand what they're saying. So yesterday we had about 25 degrees centigrade here, which is quite warm for spring.
Yesterday it was only about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And I was just trying to look it up quickly, but I can't do two things at one time.
How come? But Jennifer, you're a lady. All ladies can do two things at once.
But sometimes, after 50 years old, it becomes more difficult.
I know what you mean. So Connecticut, I've never been. What's it like in Connecticut? Because I say Connecticut, I'm not Connecticut like you do.
Yes. Well, we're a little lazy in our pronunciation of the state. It is probably supposed to be pronounced Connecticut. It's an indigenous name, and there are some hills, but it's mostly flat. And Connecticut is on the coast, so we are bordered by the sea, but we don't have waves at the ocean.
It's not waves.
No, because if you look on the map, there is a little island sticking out which blocks the waves, and that's called Long Island.
The waves from coming to the coast.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
not a little island. It's quite big, actually.
It protects you in some way from the ocean.
Yes, but it's not nearly as fun as if there were waves.
Ah, you like surfing, do you?
Well, I like the I like waves. I like to play in the waves. But it's lovely state, and we're in the southwestern part of the state where I live. It's rather dense population, and because a lot of people live here that commute to New York City for work.
Okay.
But in other areas of the state, it's very rural. There used to be a lot of farmland. So there's a lot of diversity in population and what the state looks like.
That area of America, of the States, I think in the past, in American history, there was a connection with England, I think. So perhaps, do people still have family in England, or is it a long time ago?
Well, I think it's a long time ago. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking, 200 plus years,
Yeah.
or more that
More, yeah.
families would have come over here. But in Plymouth, Massachusetts, is where reportedly the first ships from England came when they were separating, when those Protestants were separating from the Church of England, and came and established colonies here in what is now called the United States. And so there's a great history, the United States and England in this area of the country.
Yeah, okay. And do you have people from any other sort of origins in that area of the States?
Because of New York City and Boston and other larger cities and being on the coast, there are people from everywhere, all over the world. It's really a fascinating place to live because it is so diverse, especially in this part of the state. There are a lot of people from Spanish-speaking countries, especially in Central and South America. But in New York City, there are large populations from Asia, from Europe, from Africa as well. It's really what we refer to as the melting pot here in the United States. People from all over. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of interesting people to chat to.
Absolutely, all the time, as long as people are open to having those conversations. Yeah.
Now, you were talking about Spanish. That's interesting because I met you online. We've never met in person. Perhaps we will one day.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I met you because I have been trying to learn Spanish, and I read you write books, don't you? Yeah,
I do. I write
See,
books
I
in
read
Spanish.
this one. Look, this is one of Jennifer's books, Secretos.
Yes. I started writing books maybe 5 years ago when I was teaching a class of students, 2 classes actually, that just were not understanding the Spanish in the way that I was trying to present it to them.
Okay, so you do teach Spanish now? Yeah?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I was teaching at the secondary school level, and now I'm teaching at the university level for students. I like watching students' faces light up when they start to get it, when they start to understand what's going on. But the students that I had years ago were bored. They were so bored. And so I just went home and wrote a story for them.
For people learning English, there's more and more becoming available in English too. I have this one at home. So how about I put a link under the video if people want to see how they can get some of your books.
I
could
think
do
that would be
that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I focus on a lot of repetition of the language and easy vocabulary words and grammatical structures. I know that learning a new language is challenging sometimes, but it really feels good to be able to finish a book.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm very intrigued. Yeah, I want to know, if you're teaching Spanish, it means you must speak Spanish. So were you lucky to have Spanish speaking parents? How did you learn or acquire Spanish?
Well, it's a very interesting story. Just like all of the things in my life, not really planned. In high school and during secondary school, I was an exchange student through the American Field Service Program, AFS, and I traveled to Bolivia in South America for a
Bolivia.
year. Yes.
Okay.
And I did not know, I only knew 5 words when I left in Spanish.
Which
Because
5 words?
oh, let's see. I knew chico, chica, baño.
That's a girl and a boy, right?
Yes, baño in order to go to the bathroom, comida, I think, and agua, eating. Yes,
Water.
food and water. Yeah, that's all I knew. I had studied French in secondary school.
Ah, tu parles français.
Oui, je parle un peu de français, mais non très bien.
Okay.
And so all of the French came back at the wrong moments, but I managed to learn Spanish, enough Spanish that year.
Okay. And did you have any like interesting experiences? Because your Spanish, you know, it wasn't like perfect, and you were trying to make yourself understood with the words you had.
Well, I remember one experience that I remember so well and so fondly. I was working with my host mother in the open air market. She sold shoes at the open air market every single day of the week. And after school, I would go and help her sell shoes. I couldn't do much because my Spanish wasn't that great. But one day she left me at the kiosk by myself. And this young couple came up, wanted to buy a pair of shoes for their infant daughter or toddler daughter. And they asked me how much they cost, and I panicked because although I knew how much the shoes cost, there used to be a lot of haggling in the market.
Haggling? Is that negotiating the price?
Yes, and negotiating the price. Yes,
Okay,
and which is very, very common in those informal markets. And I didn't know what would be a fair price or not a fair price, and I didn't want to get in trouble for selling them for too low a price. But fortunately for me, I told them the price, whatever I told them, and they accepted and bought the shoes without question.
I remember the first time I went camping in France with my parents. Mm-hmm. And my parents said, right, you go, you're learning French. I was only about 11. And my sister and I went to buy some bread at the bakery. And we were so happy that we came back with the bread and a little bit of change, because it was the first time we had dared speak French.
And yes, and I think that's the most fun. It's part of the game. And you know, as long as there aren't any real problems or no big issues, I think it's a win.
You don't need to be perfect.
There is no reason to be perfect, because I think even in our native languages, we are not perfect either.
Never.
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 And the problem is here in our heads. We make up a story about having to be perfect. So I hope that that viewers understand, just try. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And just out of interest, before we let you go, because I know you've got a busy day today, do you still have any connections with Spanish-speaking countries? Do you still go to Spanish-speaking countries?
Whenever I can. And I have a particular fondness for Guatemala. I love Guatemala. I have been several times in the last 5 or 6 years. I started going with my best friend and her husband, who is Guatemalan, and their children, and have found some friends there, and I just keep going back. It's a beautiful country and beautiful people, and it's fairly close for me to get there. So that's
how long does it take to fly there?
It's 2 flights. It's maybe 3 hours each flight. I fly once to either Miami, and then from Miami to Guatemala City, and they're about 3 hours each-ish.
Okay. Jennifer, last year there was COVID, the pandemic, so it wasn't possible, but my family and I were supposed to be going to Costa Rica. Now, Costa Rica isn't very far from Guatemala, is it?
No, it's not.
So I would love you to, would you come back one day perhaps and talk to us about Guatemala?
I would be delighted. In fact, I will be going in a couple of weeks, and if there's time and it works out, I can even talk to you about Guatemala from Guatemala.
We'll see if we can get a good enough internet connection.
Yes, always a problem.
Thank you for your time today, Jennifer. It was
a pleasure
chatting to you.
Yes, very much a pleasure to be with you, Rachel, and I wish all of your viewers good luck with their English learning.
Okay, right, great. So thanks, and hopefully speak to you again soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.